My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive. When I was a child, I saw my mother killed by something impossible. My father went to prison for her murder. Then an accident made me the impossible. To the outside world, I'm an ordinary forensic scientist, but secretly, I use my speed to fight crime and find others like me. And one day, I'll find who killed my mother and get justice for my father. I am the Flash.
My name is Mr.Flamingo, and I am the fastest reviewer alive. Not really, I'm pretty slow. I'm talking about a bunch of old stuff. So, the year is 2014. October 7th has come around. The Tuesday night premiere of The Flash. The CW's first spin-off show, spinning off from Arrow, and headlined by young up-and-comer Grant Gustin, who by that point was also mostly well known for Glee. The Flash was a show that I could sit down with my family, with my parents, who knew that I loved comic books with all of my heart, who were very excited to have a show that I was excited to watch, and they didn't mind watching with me. We would sit down, and we watched that first episode, I remember this clearly, and we loved it. We would sit down weekly, and we would watch The Flash. The first season's Eobard Thawne was a fantastic villain, and it was a joyous time for me. I was very young. Still young, but, I was mid-school. Amidst all of this stuff, The Flash was my bread and butter now. It gave me something to look forward to on a Tuesday night outside of doing whatever English homework I had to do or other classes at the time. Fantastic fun. The year now is 2024, and The Flash has turned 10 years old since the premiere episode. And it's been over for roughly a year now. It only made it to 9 seasons. I always thought it should have made it to 10, go out on their 10th year. I thought it would have been a nice full circle moment. Flash missing, vanishings in Crisis, etc. and what have you could have been all done in 2024, but that is not how fate handled things. The Flash was the last, outside of Superman and Lois, though they aren't technically in the Arrowverse anymore. They are their own separate world. The Flash was the last Arrowverse show standing, with Arrow's actual finale. Supergirl had ended by that point. Legends got canceled, and Batwoman got canceled. The Flash was the last man on the lot, in a way. But it made it. It went out on its own note, for better or worse. Overall, though, was the show the same by the end for me as it was at the start? Could I say that The Flash of 2014 and The Flash of 2023 were the same? No. A lot of the characters had come and gone. Cisco was long gone by that point, in the end. While in the beginning, he was a major player and you could never think of the show without him. Very different. But still at its core, The Flash ended with love, as it begun with love and heart and a bunch of energy. And my overall review is, it is definitely not for everybody. A lot of my friends, they think, man, this show has very much CW writing wall to wall. And perhaps it is the sentimentalist in me, because I watched it from the beginning, but I could never not look at the show and think, wow, and think, I could never look at it and think this is bad. I always looked at it and thought, you know what, it's a good time. It might not be what it was, it might be a little wonky at times. Barry might lose his powers like every season, just so that they can make him a little nerfed. But I loved it. I think if you love The Flash as a character, but you're willing to make compromises, this was a show you would adore. I still adore it. I've rewatched it. I've enjoyed it. I think Grant Gustin was a fantastic actor. I think him and Daniel Panabaker and Carlos Valdez and Tom Cavanaugh, the main core, I think it was always fun. Did it overstay its welcome? Some can argue, but I was much happier with the fact that it went on for as long as it did versus the idea that it ended, because if it ended a lot sooner, I would have had a lot less to look forward to. But instead, what I got was 9 years of content out of this. I got a lot of ups and some downs story-wise, but I got to watch it every week, and things have changed, but one thing that was very consistent was that show would pop on during the fall season, and it would be there until the early months of the next year, and it would be fun, and I would get to watch the adventures of the Flash and company. And now it's 10 years old. It's over now, sure, but 10 years, that's a very long time, and shout out to all of them for making it happen. I'm just one person's voice on the internet, but I can say it brought me a lot of joy. And my Mr. Flamingo review of this is, while maybe the writing changed and while maybe things changed, it was still The Flash in the end, and wall to wall 9 seasons is nothing to scoff at. It had a fantastic run, and it deserves to be celebrated. It's the most successful live action Flash out there. Yes, I mean that. The other one sucks. I've been Mr. Flamingo Reviews. Goodbye.